this old Piercing Pagoda sign in my closet from one of the actual stores because I used to work at Piercing Pagoda. Here's some things about working at Piercing Pagoda that maybe you didn't know. It's basically the kiosk in the middle of the mall where you can also get your ears pierced. When my original store closed, we got to physically rip the store apart, like physically ripped it apart. So I kept the sign and had my coworkers sign it. First of all, don't come at me for piercing. And I've pierced probably like hundreds of years over my years of working there. Yes, I know that getting your ears pierced at a tattoo shop is way better, but guess what? I had sales goals to meet. So we had sales goals and we also had piercing goals. So each month I had a number of piercings that I had to do. And if I did make my goal, I got $1 per piercing as a bonus. And we also had to push those 14 karat gold earrings onto you. And they train you, like, no matter what you tell me your sensitivity to ears is, I'm going to tell you that basically you need to get the 14 karat gold. And if you're a parent and you want to get your baby or kid's ear pierced and you don't get the 14 karat gold, I was basically trying to make you feel like you were a piece of shit. I'm really sorry about that. And my Piercing Pagoda days were while I was in college, so we got trained to pierce by having to pierce fake ears on a piece of paper. They did give you like little foam backings to have like a little bit of that like what it felt like to grab an earlobe. And then the ear shapes were like shaped all different weird, crazy things. Because let me tell you, when you work at Piercing Pagoda, you're gonna learn that everyone has different shaped lobes. Like even to this day, sometimes I look at people and I'm like, wow, you have nice lobes for piercing. Like I know exactly where I would pierce. And I can't speak for all stores, but at least at my store, my supervisor would actually let us like dot each other's ears as practice too. And I did pride myself in how well I did pierce because let me tell you, I had to fix so many Walmart piercings and so many Claire's piercings. So I personally would rank it like Walmart, Claire's, Piercing Pagoda, if it's the right store. And then, go to a tattoo shop is number one. I feel like I'm really dwelling on the piercing thing, so I'm trying to stick with that. You had to be at least 2 months old and have a DPT shot in order to get pierced. And you would not believe how many people would bring babies like fresh out the womb, like whoop, will you pierce it? And piercing babies' ears are so hard because this is what it's like piercing a baby's ear. You could barely see the lobe, their necks are all scrunched. So you're like trying to like pick the baby's head up to pierce it. And like I said, I had to fix so many piercings. And the number one thing I would have to fix is the angle. When you pierce someone's ear, you need to make sure it goes like this into the earlobe so that when they put their earring in, it's straight. You shouldn't pierce someone's ear on an angle like this and then you see like the back sticking down. So you have to think about placement, and I always, when I would dot and mark the ears, I would make sure like, I would imagine what it would look like if they got all of their ear pierced because I'd want, that flow to go like that. Sometimes people would come in from Walmart or something, it's pierced all the way down here, all the way up here. And I'm like, what else about piercing? Piercing Pagoda I worked at, we also started doing noses. Yes, we pierced the noses with the machine, and we were trained to call it a machine, not a gun for the piercing instrument. So it was either a machine or a piercing instrument. And I didn't like doing them that way. And at that point, I was getting ready to leave Piercing Pagoda anyway. So I was like, I would actually talk people out of it and I'd be like, look, in all honesty, you should really go to a tattoo shop for this and not let me stick this because it's going to it does damage to your cartilage. But I think people didn't care. People are so afraid of that 2-step piercing process with the needle. And then that deters them so much that they're willing to undergo so many more risks just for that piercing. So it's... I have so many stories from working there, so many things about what it's like working there, the expectations of working there. And I worked there, oh my God, what year was it? Maybe like 2003? And then I worked there, I think for like 5 or 6 years, and then I'd go back seasonally after that just for like funsies.